of 2020. What's up? How are you guys? Hopefully you had a wonderful Christmas, a happy new year, a happy anniversary, a happy birthday. Is our birthday girl on right now? I hope not. I hope she's out celebrating. And then I don't know if Nicola put this on here, if she didn't, totally cool, but we are officially a 6-time elite team. From the moment that I set my eyes on wanting to be an elite coach, and Sommer Tucker plays a huge role in that. Actually, I think she was the person who sent me flowers when I hit elite for the first time. And I didn't turn back. So every year we've hit it for 6 consecutive years. And that is not just me. That is all of you. It takes a whole tribe of incredible people to accomplish that goal. Meaning there are challengers who have committed to programs, who have decided to get before and after pictures, who have changed lives. There are people who have gotten pregnant. There are people who have stopped alcoholism. There are people who have lost hundreds of pounds because of you guys. And the title of elite is all great, shiny reward, that corporate puts out there, and it's fun to shoot for. But what it means is we have some incredible working coaches who are changing lives. And that's what I love about it. So I'm super pumped and excited to be to be representing you guys, right? And to see who is going to take on the torch. Who's going to be our next elite coach? Who's going to be our next premier coach? Who's going to be building a tribe that one day I can be like the Sommer Tucker, talking on your call and be like your great-great-grandma? That'd be really awesome. But anyways, congratulations to all of you for just rocking it in 2019. And I know that 2020 is going to be an absolutely phenomenal year just because we have phenomenal people on our team. So it's just bound to happen. All right. So before we go into introducing Sommer, I want to go over some recognition announcements. So Nicole, if you want to go ahead and share your screen now. Sorry. Is this where we're starting? All right. So, ding dong. All right, there we go. Epic Empire January shout outs. The month has just begun, sort of. Happy birthday to Laura. I'm like I said, I'm assuming she's not on, but today is her birthday, and she made us do shots and squats. So I just did a shot and squats for her on her stories. All right, announcements. What's we got? Nicola, do you want to go over these?
Sure. Okay, so the Ultimate Portion Fix and 2B Mindset, the January Jumpstart is still on sale. So make sure that if you have some people that are just kind of back and forth with their new nutrition plan, or they don't really want to commit to a program, this is a great way to get them in the door. The 3-day refresh sale is actually ending January 10th. So that's 2 days from now. So make sure you are pushing that. And if you have people that want to do the reset or the refresh, to get them started with that. The monthly Fix and Mindset memberships, they are now available as standalones. So that simply means that they can do that all by themselves. You don't have to buy a package to get these. So make sure you check that out. And then this is super exciting. Starting January 13th is our Team Cup. So our first Team Cup competition for 2020. So make sure that you stay tuned to Epic Empire. It's always an exciting time for Epic. We do a lot of teams, and it's fun. And then lastly, our Energize contest is still going strong. It goes to the end of the month. And tomorrow we'll have a board up saying who's in the lead and things like that. That's it.
Awesome sauce. And I will go live in Epic Empire teaching, sharing, encouraging, explaining all things Team Cup. I've always been a big proponent of it because it's something that's always fueled me as a Ruby personality. I like competing. I think it's fun. I thrive in those environments. I like competing alongside rubbing shoulders with other teammates and collaborating and stuff like that. So I will explain all of that in a live video in the team page. If you're like super gung-ho and you're like, no, I want to know what it is now, you know what? You can look it up in the FAQs because it's all out there. And then, like she said, the Energize contest is still going. And I saw like Jessica Morris was getting it. Blasia was getting it. There's a few people out there like leading the way. Candace had a few. So I'm excited to see what the leaderboard says. Remember, we're giving away a Diva light. So that's like equipment 101 for being a coach. All right, team builders so far for the month. Team builders so far for the month of January added to the team. We have Blasia added one, so one coach added to their team. Blasia, Candace, Lindsay. Oh, go back. Okay, there we go. Blasia, Candace, Lindsay, Kelsey, Ashley C, Melanie, Kelly Batchelor, Chloe, Holly Garvey, Kayla, and then with two new coaches, and I believe should be rank advancing tomorrow, Miss Jessica B. We got lots of Jessicas on the team, so we're going with Jessica B. Congratulations, you guys, for adding some awesome coaches to your team. Success Club so far for the month of January. Let's see where everybody's at. There we go. All right, on the board with SC2, we have Patrick Garvey, Kayla, Rachel, Crystal, Cassie, Laura Day, Tracy T, Callista, Rin, Cindy, I think that's Audra, and Ashley, Melanie, Tammy, Jerry, Jessica Morris, Kelly King at 3, and at 4 points we have Candace, Jessica B, Holly Garvey, Carrie B, and Ashton Fox. In Success Club 5, which means they've actually got to the place where corporate gives us 2 categories. We got SC5 and SC10, and there's all different types of reasons why those are valuable and rewarding. But in SC5, we have Courtney M., Brant Rivet, Lauren Anderson, and myself. And then, of course, leading the way, like always, our rock star, Miss Blasia at SC12. Congratulations, everybody. We still got time left. All right, so it's the first call of a new year, of a new decade, and I couldn't think of a better person that I would ever want to speak life into my team than this girl right here. Like, I can't go too much into it because I'll get like all teary-eyed and there'll be like waterworks happening and all this stuff, but let me give you a little tiny backstory. Some of you guys know because I posted a few times because I'm like all like really gung-ho about this, and I don't always do that for all of our speakers, but I was a itty-bitty brand new Emerald coach who had no clue what she was doing. I think my husband and like my best friend at the time were my coaches. So kind of a team of just like making people do it with me. And I'm like, hey, there's this rock star. Like I think she was like maybe 5-star, 4, 6-star at the time. All right. She's like 6-star at the time. And in my eyes, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. She's like the first lady of the United States, amazing in my mind, right? And so like, can I go to Panera and just like sit with you and watch? I can't imagine if somebody messaged me right now. I'd be like, that's awkward. But I did. I got my notebook. I sat with her, and I felt like a kindergartner in like a college class because she had her laptop out and she had notebooks and she had new coach trainings and she's whipping on these boss babe calls like, all right, well, you can hit Seth Club by this day. She's like going on and on. I'm like, I want to be that one day. Like, I don't even know what she's talking about, but like, I want to be that, right? And so she lit a fire under me. And I not even by saying anything, but just watching her act lit a fire under me because I knew I was capable of what she was doing, but I didn't know necessarily how to do it. And I remember that day going, I don't have a new coach training. Like, can I see it? And she's like, yeah, you can see it. And I'm like trying to absorb everything that she's showing me. But I am a firm believer that I wouldn't be where I am today, sitting where I'm sitting with the ocean right there, like my dream spot. This is her Ohio watching football, eating barbecue. I remember that call, right? I'm there now, where she has always preached for me to be. I'm there now, and it's just such a beautiful thing, and it'll make more sense when she talks. But you guys, if you could channel, who did I make the analogy? The most intense football coach with like TD Jakes mixed together. That's kind of what it feels like when you listen to Sommer Tucker speak. Like, be prepared to put all distractions aside. The girlfriend, I mean, like, I don't even have her credentials in front of me. I'm honoring her with, like, our relationship has been so influential in my life, and I'm so thankful for her. If there's any mentor that I give credit to my success, it is Miss Sommer Tucker. She's 15-star diamond. I know she hit that. She's in the Millions Club. I know she's there. She is a mom and a wife. She retired her husband from the military, Mr. Chad Tucker. And I am just so honored and humbled to have her come speak on my call. So I'm going to mute my line, hush my mouth. If you have any comments, post them in the chat, and we'll ask after.
Wait, so today's not your birthday? Was it 2 days ago?
It was yesterday.
Yesterday. Oh, I thought today was the actual day. I was gonna like dance for you or something.
Oh, I mean, you can do that.
No, that's okay. No, really, I'm not. You know how Jatana? Well, I don't know if you still do, because I can get lost in a hole, like a rabbit hole on Instagram. But she would dance. Do you still dance on Instagram? Shake your booty and with all that good music and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't do that. You guys, I danced at my retreat just to prove it to my coaches. And they're like, yeah, you should dance on Instagram. But anyway, I would rather if Jatana would have said, like, you guys, I don't have high hopes for this. I feel like I have to like live up to it now, and it's been one of those days. Have you guys ever had one of those days? Like literally, I'm just gonna be real with you guys. Like my husband came home, he's like, I got a migraine. I was like, I have time for you to have a migraine. And my son, 13, I was like, oh, I don't feel good. I'm like, up to bed, I got a call to do. And then one was like, I think I have pinworms. I'm like, oh, that's so gross. What have you been doing? Like sticking your hand on the dog's butt? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is like the mom life. And then we were laughing about it because I just had what I thought was food poisoning the other day, but apparently it's a bug because they all got it. And how many of you guys are like the ugliest vomiters ever? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, Chad was like, I was trying to hold your hair. And I was like, it's ugly when you vomit. Like, do you know what I mean? And so he reenacted it right before I got on here. And the kids are like, Mom, Dad. And I'm like, I have to go. So hopefully I can live up to everything that you were hoping, Jatana. But I did feel like I just got a like burst of energy. But it's past my bedtime. How many of you guys, it's a little bit past your bedtime? Like, Jatana has been asking me for months. I'm like, Jatana, I'm supposed to be in bed. Like, you know what I mean? I get up early. And then she told me it was her birthday. And how do you say no to Jatana Jackson when it's her birthday and when she's one of your very, very favorite coaches that you've ever worked with? She just stole my heart when we were stationed in Quantico, and I sat with her, and she's so like humbly, and like the only thing I ask of people and the only thing I ask of myself is like to have like a hunger to learn and a willingness to change. And that what Jatana was just like, just tell me what to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. It was like the most fun I've ever had. I was like, holy crap, like she actually does it. Like when I show her, and then her personality is beautiful. Do you remember when we all went out for Valentine's Day? Jatana, me and your husband. Yeah, it was so fun. But she has since then got a nicer abs and longer hair, and if she could get any more gorgeous, she has. And now she lives on the ocean, which I really should have set my stakes a little higher. I feel like, Jatana, I really hate Ohio. Damn it, I should.
I just remember the call. You were like my utopia or whatever was like in Ohio with a fire and football playing, eating chili.
Yeah. No, it's cold. I'm over it. I feel like it's changed. I'd rather have some flip flops under my feet, but I'm excited to be here. Do y'all have it written down, like why you're here? I'm going to talk about that. Like, how many of you struggle with making habits stick? Or most of you on here like, dude, I show up every day for my power hour or whatever. Anybody here willing to say the first step to change is saying like, dude, I struggle with that a little bit. You know what I mean? That like, it's okay. It doesn't define you. You know what I'm saying? But you can't change something you won't acknowledge, right? And so one of my biggest like passions, because I wanted to figure out, why do some people do this and some people don't? Like, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. We all have life struggles with our kids. Like, trust me, like I can't even post the stuff I've been through in 2019 on social media out of respect for people that I've walked the miles with. You know what I'm saying? Like, trust me, we are going through some crap, right? Someone once taught me, there's a book I read, God Never Blinks, that if you wrote all your problems down and folded them in a, over and over and threw them into a pile, like, and got to pick someone else's, you'd be begging for your problems back. You know what I mean? I try to keep that in perspective. So why, through why through 10 moves and after the military 5 more? Because freedom is a funny thing. Like when you can live anywhere and you don't know where you should live. We lived in South Carolina, Texas, Columbus, Ohio, Cincinnati. I mean, we lived in an RV for 2 months. Don't do that. Okay, don't do that. Made for some good Facebook stories or whatnot, but wasn't very fun. So like, why through a pregnancy, 2 deployments, like that would always would get me, like, why do some people take it and run with it? And why do some not? Because I don't believe for a second that you're not worthy of it. I don't for a second believe that any of you are not capable of it, because what I do know is that you have people, like you have walked miles, you have scars and wounds, and you've been through things in your life, and you've had struggles, ups and downs in your marriage, and maybe your faith, or your finances and your health and wellness your health and wellness journey that could serve other people, things that you have overcome. That there are somebody that I can tell my story and they wouldn't connect with me, but they would hear Courtney's story and they'd be like, that girl gets me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe that, truly, truly believe that in my heart. That's what I love about this business so much, is because there's so many people that struggle, and they all don't need Sommer, and they all don't need Jatana. Some of them really do need Courtney. You know what I'm saying? And so I started studying it. I became almost obsessed with something called habit formation. Sounds super boring. I promise someday I'll come up with a more, marketing worthy name for it. But I started studying the psychology of it. I'm going to jump into your guys' questions in a second. But there really is a psychology side to habit formation. Okay? There really is a science. And I want to, if you're struggling with this, if you have struggled with this, or you have coaches, how many of you are like, no, Sommer, I do my power hour pretty consistently? Anybody on here that can say that? Sounds like, I think you said Blasia is on fire. And I saw tons of kids around her a second ago. So she gets it, right? And we're going to get it at different times sometimes. Okay. I might say something that clicks and someone else might log off before I'm even done talking, right? Because it just wasn't that person's season. Okay. So we all like kind of, things click at different times. But I bet Blasia has someone in their downline that she's like, okay, but I don't understand why she's not taking action yet. You know what I mean? Or why can't she stay consistent? That's the biggest thing I hear from people. So whether you personally struggle with it, you're going to have a client that struggles with it, or you're going to have, because they're human, you're going to have a teammate that struggles with it. So I want you to understand that there is a science to it. They're not just lazy. So stop calling yourself that. Whatever narrative you have going on in your head, there are literally pathways in your brain that have developed to form habits, routines, right? And your routines literally have made it your reality. Whatever reality you're living in your finances, in your business, in your health and wellness, in your marriage, they're just small little routines. Like no one gets sick like, oh my gosh, how did that happen? It's death by 1,000 cuts. It's the other direction, the same, right? And so like all of us coaches, myself, Jatana, Micah Folsom, Carrie Legault, Megan E. Walton, like, I don't know, those people are in my downline, so they come into my head right away. We're all doing the same vitals. They haven't changed in the 10 years that I've been a coach. And you know what? If you all of a sudden decided Beachbody wasn't for you, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to start a church. It's the same thing. So we've set you up. If you're going to start a ministry, it's the same thing. If you're like, no, I think I'm going to sell insurance, same thing. Oh, nope, I'm going to sell wine, same thing. Like, you know how I know this? Because people come back to me and tell me, oh my gosh, same thing. Okay, because every business has to have clients, right? So you have to find people, right? We know our vital behaviors. Find people, right? Why? Because where does money come from? People, right? So like you have to want to work with people. You have to love people. They're going to ask themselves 3 things when they're deciding whether to work with you or stay with you. Does she love me? Can I trust her? And can she help me? right? And that's a process for people. These aren't these people on like in your life or in your community or on your newsfeed. They're not robots. They're real people. We cannot lose sight of that, even though we're stuck behind this. And I feel like it gives everybody like the right to be like, freaking Democrats, like they forget that there's really like another human on the other side, or not agreeing with what the military is doing. Well, guess what? There really is a family that's at home having a trouble getting their son to sleep because they missed their dad. We can fire all this stuff on social media, but on the other side, there is someone with a beating heart and scars, right? And real like skin, like, you know, and that's easy to forget when we're behind this. Right? They're not robots, right? Okay, so that takes time. And while I have the most respect for anybody that is trying to better their family, whether they're selling Tupperware or athletic wear, you know, or wine. Is that even a thing anymore? I don't know. But if a human, another woman is trying to loosen the financial burden on her family's life, I'm team them, right? But here's the thing, not every business gives you the ability to connect at the level that we get to connect with people. Not every other business has people that have been stuck in a yo-yo prison for the better part of their life, or has been staring in the mirror and self-hating over and over and over again, and had to sit there and watch their 7-year-old watch them do that, or the emotional eating that has kept them in this horror. We get to free people from that, but it takes time. Because, you know, when you're on social media and you see the before and after of those workout pants, like lifts your butt like that, I'm pushing 40. You know what? Autumn does a pretty good job of lifting my butt, but it doesn't hurt to have the right workout pants on, right? But there's not a whole lot of emotion involved. Yes, I have to have the connection with the person. Yes, I have to trust them, but I don't have to connect with my scars. Does that make sense? We get to use our scars for good. Remember that promise? He can use everything for good if we let him, right? So that's what's so cool about what we get to do, but we also have to understand that it takes time. Right? So these habits that people have been living in that have made their reality, they didn't get uncomfortable in their skin overnight. It was years. You know what I mean? They didn't get in this financial situation overnight. It was years. They didn't get in this habit of procrastination or self-doubt overnight. It was years and years and years of this tape that's been playing in their head. Right? So we have to understand that it's going to take time, and how can I help them? Because shaming them or guilting them or throwing up numbers doesn't always work. So I had to start studying that. So that's what I want to start with, okay? Me and Jatana are doing the same stuff. Hear me out on this. I want you to think about it this way, okay? And I got this from John Maxwell. Any John Maxwell fans? Kinda. Yeah, sometimes he's like my grandpa. I just want to like cuddle up and listen to his stories and fall asleep. Sometimes I have to like wake myself back up when I'm listening to him. He's so soothing. Whereas Rachel, I'm like, whoa, like, okay, I'm listening, Rachel's yelling. Rachel Hollis, you know what I'm talking about. But lost my train of thought. Oh, okay. So he talks about there's all these trees in the forest, right? There's all of these trees, right? And you get to pick which tree you want to whack at. Okay, so you can whack at the athletic wear tree if you want, the wine tree. I don't think it exists anymore. You can whack at the Tupperware tree, the Amway tree, the Beachbody tree. You get to decide. And since you're here and you could be asleep, I imagine it's pretty important to you that you pick the Beachbody tree. Okay, because it makes a difference. It matters to you on some level. That's what you picked. Okay, now you have picked the tree. You have to walk out to the tree every day. Pick up the axe. Me and Jatana are doing this every single day. Pick up the axe. Whack at it 5 times. Find, connect, invite, follow up, message. Then there's some other things like social media and personal development. We'll talk about that in a second. But those are the boom, 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 every day. Jatina and I are doing that every day. Megan and Walton is doing that every day, okay? Now, here's the thing. It may look like there's something fancy that we're doing because Jatina walks out. I can't even do it. I'm not you know, she's cute. She walks out, she picks it up, you know what I mean? And she whacks at it that way. You know what I'm saying? Whereas me, I'm like a little bit more methodical, you know, like, I'm like, you know what? I feel like I'd be more efficient if I sat down right here and I got at this level. My way looks more boring than maybe Jatina's way. Whereas I have a coach that when she walks out, she's got the music going, and then I have one coach that sings while she hits it. And I'm like, how do you sing and do this at the same time? It's like my son that listens to music, rap music, while he does math. What the heck? Can't do that. You know what I mean? We're just different. But at the end of the day, every single one of us that are succeeding at our definition of success, we're doing the same thing, okay? We're doing the same thing. So every day, you wake up, you walk outside, you hit it, you put the axe down, you walk inside, you have a cup of coffee with your husband, you make breakfast for your kids, you take him to school, you know what I mean? You go about your day, maybe you go to work full time, you get your workout in, you pick up the kids, you do the basketball event, you do the spelling, you do all the things. You go to bed. You wake back up the next day. You pick up the same axe. You hit 5 times every day. You set it down. You go back inside. You do the same thing. That is all I have done for 10 freaking years straight. Let me tell you what happens. People walk out to the tree. They look over. They're like, Jatina looks like she's having way more fun with how she does it. I wonder if she has a YouTube video on that. You know what I mean? Oh, is that a new pair of pants that she got? I'm gonna send her a message. I'm gonna see where she got that. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Back to whacking at the tree. Oh, wait, hold up a second. I wanna get this on Instagram really quick. Oh, okay. Let's put on a filter. Oh, my mom texts me. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what we do, right? And then we're like, crap, I wasted all this time. I better hurry up and do this. Whack, whack, whack. We look over and we're like, they're still whacking. I feel like I'm behind. Okay, I'm gonna whack longer. I'm just not gonna get my workout in. I'm not gonna eat today. I'm gonna keep whacking. Boom, boom, we're trying to catch up. We finally get tired. We've ran completely behind. Didn't get anything done. The laundry's not done. Nothing's done, right? We get in the car to get the kids with all of this mom guilt, all of this guilt going on to the point where we're like, I'm exhausted, right? We go to bed, you know, we see all the mantras and affirmations around, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna set my alarm. We get up the next morning and our arms hurt from whacking so long. We try to pick it up and we're like, I'll take a day off. I gotta catch up on laundry. I'll do double tomorrow. So we justify it in our brain, you know what I mean? And we're like, I worked. I was in my groups today. We didn't whack at the tree. Really what we do sometimes is we caress the tree. Like, oh, I love this tree. There's so fun in here. Let's watch a video of Jatina. Oh my gosh, did she get new pants again? Wait, is she on the beach again? Why do I have to be in the house? We go through this whole thing, right? When our husband's like, did you do anything? No, I worked. Well, where's the money? Well, really, actually, what I did was fondle the tree today. You know what I mean? We didn't hit the tree. You know what I mean? The tree's not falling because we keep caressing the tree, right? Okay, so we do this this yo-yo over and over again to the point where we don't like it anymore. We don't like it. We've sucked all of the joy out completely, right? When all you have to do is come out and do the vitals over and over and over, set it down, and walk inside. Now, if you can look at me and say, me and Jatina, and say, Sommer, I swear that's not what I'm doing. I say, cool. Like, I mean, I trust you. You're an adult. Like, you know, like we're teammates. You know what I mean? Okay. That if you're really doing, let me see your tracker. And you're like, I don't like to do a tracker. And I'd be like, that's because you're not doing it. Same like our clients. You ever have clients that are like, I don't like to keep a food journal? Because you don't like to write down that you ate that handful of potato chips, right? Everybody that's doing a tracker loves to do a tracker. It's like saying, I don't like to keep a to-do list. Yes, you do, as long as you're crossing it off. How many of you keep a to-do list and when you're like, I totally just folded that laundry, didn't even have it written down. Well, write it down so I can cross it off. When you're doing things, you like the tracker because this feels so good. It's human nature, right? It's human nature. But if you really looked at me and you're like, no, Summer, here's my tracker, which some of my coaches do. I'm like, awesome, let me look. Okay, that just means that maybe we need to sharpen your axe. Maybe we just need to look at some things like, how are you finding people? Do we need to, because you don't have an inviting problem, you have a funnel problem. Our business is like this. Every business is like this. You fill the funnel, you connect with some of them. Some of you are like, I don't even want to connect with them. They look scary. Not my people. Like, but they're in your funnel. You're like, you know, so you connect with a little less. And then some of them, you're like, okay, it's time to invite. And then like people drop out down here. Whereas some of us have an inverted funnel. We like think we should have all these people coming out joining us, and we have like this itty bitty funnel up here. So maybe we probably have a funnel problem. So let's talk about it. You know, let's start learning, right? Let's see how Micah Folsom does it, right? Because she teaches on expanding. I'm sure Jatana's like the mother of all Instagram. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, how do we extend? As long as you are hungry to learn and willing to change, you can succeed, right? So we might just have a dull axe and we need to sharpen it. I know I do. 10 years in, you guys, Facebook groups didn't even exist when I joined. That's how old I am. I was like, what's a Facebook group? I don't understand how they work. You know what I mean? Kind of how some of you at first with Instagram, you're like, I don't get it. That was me with Facebook groups. And you're probably like, really? A Facebook group is pretty simple, Summer. Not at the time, right? So you probably just have to sharpen the axe, okay? So there is no way around this, okay? These vitals must be done. So why aren't some people doing them? Because of habits. And once I started studying habit formation, it all made sense and it can be easily applied to every single one of us, okay? So let me give you that recipe and then I'm gonna jump into, how am I doing on time, Jatana? Good?
You're good.
Okay, so, and then we'll jump into the questions you guys asked, and then if there's still time, you guys can keep asking questions, okay? So, one, and this isn't gonna surprise you, but it's become white noise, it has to be important to you, okay? It has to be important to you. Let me tell you what doesn't light me up inside. And it doesn't mean it's right or wrong. There is no right or wrong. No one gets to tell you whether your goal, here, let me, like this is what I always tell my team. You get to tell me your goal. I get to tell you what it takes to achieve it. You get to decide if that's worth it to you. You can either adjust it, but make sure you don't regret it. This is what I tell my 13-year-old son, right? And then we can move forward. I don't tell you your goal. You tell me your goal. I tell you what it takes to achieve it. You decide whether you want to do that. It's like when someone came to me and said, I want to be elite this year. Let me tell you what that takes, and then we'll decide if you really want. I'm not going to like sugarcoat it, make it say you have to hit Success Club all the time. There's not like, sometimes. But if someone came to me and said, I want to make $500, that's a different story. I can teach you how to make $500 with just retention, right? Do you see what I'm saying? You tell us your goals. We get to tell you how to reach it. You get to decide it if that fits in your lifestyle right now and if it's important enough to you, and we can adjust, okay? So it has to be important to you. For example, and I don't know if this is important to Justina, but let me tell you what's not important to me. Standing on a stage. I hate it. I hate it. I just want to crawl like this. I stand in the back. I hide on the other side of Lauren Duke every year. Don't take a picture of me. I might trip and I can't get on and off fast enough. And everybody high-fiving, but like it makes me nervous. Like, I just don't like it. I wear the same exact dress for the Million Club every year. The same one. I hate shopping. Freaking hate it. Like if I could have a personal shopper do it, like this is, if I could walk on stage, tell Chad, what do you think would happen if I walked on stage in my holy jeans and Chucks? Is that cool? Doesn't look like it would be cool, but that'd be so cool to me. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, but it gets dressier and dressier, and I suck at that. You know what I mean? However, there are some people on my team that freaking fires them up, man. They want to get the cutest dress, and they want to get the best pictures, and they can't wait to do this all the way across the stage, which I can't do that all the way across the stage because I'll trip over my heels that I don't know how to wear. So no, like, do you know what I mean? Like, but they love it, and that's fine. If it's I don't get to tell them like that can't be important to them. They get to decide what's important to them. It just has to be important enough to make them show up every single day. And that can adjust, you guys. I'm out of breath. Oh my gosh. Okay. So it has to be important to you. 2, it has to be easy. If it doesn't feel easy, you're not going to do it. Hear me out on this. This is why people that are just starting out on their fitness journey, their wellness journey, and they're never worked out in their life type of person, and they're 50 pounds overweight, the gym is a really bad freaking idea. I've studied it. I worked in the gyms. You could have some outliers, but percentage-wise, it's not a good idea because it's not easy enough. There's too many excuses, and they really, the excitement wears off right around by this 3rd month. And it's all statistics. I've sat in the meetings with the gym owners, right? And it's not like they're not laughing about it. They're actually trying to talk about how do we increase that? How do we make it easier for people, right? That's why they start putting workouts up so that you can follow the workouts, because now you know what you're doing around the gym. Like, they're trying, but then you have to do it after work or before work, and you have to take the kids with you, or you have basketball practice that you have to pick them up with, you have to fit it in there, it's across town, the traffic. Like, that's why what we get to do is so freaking awesome, okay? I can go to a gym now. It's a habit to me. If I decided to go to a gym, I could maintain it because it literally pathways have been developed in my brain. Right? So it has to remain easy for someone, right? Little things like if you don't floss your teeth, and it's okay if you don't. I just started regularly because I was trying to prove all of this to my husband. I was like, watch, I'll create a new habit of flossing my teeth, which I don't really want to do. You know what I mean? But it's important to me because, and I came up with a reason, we don't need to go into that. And all I had to do was take my floss and put it out right by the cream I put on my face at night. That's it. Because it was easy. It was a reminder, right? I bought a water pick too hard because when it runs out of water, I know this sounds stupid, but when I'm tired, I'm like, it's out of water. I don't feel like filling it up and doing all of that. And it kind of hurts my teeth. Any of you guys use a water pick? Don't. It like hurts. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it became something I didn't like. So that didn't work, but the floss did. Okay. So I know that sounds stupid, but it really is science. So it has to be easy. Okay. So let me give you an example. When I first started building this business, okay, if you already have a system, ignore me, but you might want to use this with your coaches until they develop a habit. Literally got this from Melissa McAllister 9 years ago because I wasn't consistent either. I got a note card like this. She said, write this down. Find, connect, invite, follow up, message. I was like, okay, I can do that. She's like, do that every day. How many? She didn't say. So I was like, okay, I'll do 2 a day, right? I remember when people were doing, I don't know if you remember, Jatana, the power of 3. They were doing 3. And I was like, oh, that seems high speed. I'm going to do 2. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and I did 2 right now. 3. You're like, what? You only do 3? Slacker. Like, do you know what I mean? Nope, 2. I've done 2 every day for 10 years. Every day for 10 years. Okay? Because literally, you know how T25 came out? I call mine P25. Power 25. It doesn't take me, literally it takes my coaches 22 to 25 minutes to complete their power hour. And then if they get a bonus one in later, awesome. But that's where we start. because I'm trying to develop the habit for them, okay? It's called step laddering and habit formation, okay? And you have to have a community. You cannot isolate yourself when you're trying to make a change. It's why Beachbody works so well for people changing their, their health journey, is because not a community that has it all figured out and necessarily has pretty graphics, which is fun to look at. We are visual people, but a community of people are that literally just someone coming in and going, oh my gosh, me too. You know what helped me is I did Ab Ripper X when I was having those cravings at night. Just somebody, they said this, like your brain lights up when someone else says, me too. And enough to cause you to want to show up again the next day in this safe environment. And if you hang out with people long enough that are moving in at one direction, you will start moving with them as well. Studies show that. Just like if you hang out long enough with people that have struggling marriages, guess what? You're going to move along with them. You hang out with people long enough that drink wine all the time, you're going to move with them, right? It is how we are wired. We want to be accepted by the community. So just be careful what community you pick, right? Just be intentional with that, okay? And then it becomes ingrained. So you have to get to a place where these things, like a new pathway literally develops to where you don't mind doing your P25, okay? So that is the foundation of it. So if right now, like I did this with one of my coaches that is now a rock star coach. She's a premier coach, which I think that's amazing. She went from struggling to premier, and she was so overwhelmed. I was like, Ashley, what are you doing? All of it. I'm like, well, stop doing all of it. All you need to do is 2, 2, 2, and 2. Well, everybody else is doing more. I don't care what everybody else is doing. I don't care. I don't care if you don't show up the next day or you're not here the next month, right? So I said, I just want you to do 2, 2, and 2 for the next 30 days and then get back to me. Can you do that? She said, I can do that. At the end of 30 days, she did it. I said, how do you feel? She said, I feel amazing. I feel like I'm a success. Like, I feel like I'm showing up. Like, all right, okay, do it for me for another 30 days. She did that for 1 year. For 1 year. And then she upped it to 10. Anybody ever done that before? I'm like, I'm going to do 10. Everybody else is doing 10, 10, 10, 10, which is fine. She did 10, and she did it for a month. And I said, how do you feel? I feel a little overwhelmed. Okay, let's just see how 5 feels. Okay, she did it for 30 days. How do you feel? I think I could do a little bit more. What number do you want to do? I want to do 7. Okay, let's do it. How do you feel? I feel like I hit my perfect number. And that's how the process works. And there's different seasons of your life. However, you have to show up every day. Does that make sense? Like you have to be able to evaluate. But also, when Ashley was doing 2, she didn't hit premier doing 2. I'm just going to be completely honest. That came after a while and momentum and everything. You see what I'm saying? Like, so if she would said, no, this year elite, I'm going to say, girlfriend, we're going to have to do more than 2. I'm very honest with people. I'm very honest with people. So that part you have to understand. Okay, so let's get into your questions, but that foundation is so key, that you're always doing the vitals, right? Because, and here's the other thing, like I think of it like a recipe. How many of you guys like to cook? Anybody like to cook in here? Okay, how many of you guys are like my husband, where like you turn the music on and like you kind of like get the ingredients as you go, and it's kind of messy, and like your handprints are like all over everything because you touched it, and then you like tried to pick up like the cinnamon like that, and you like got everywhere, and like you're just, it's all over you, but it was so good. Is anybody that type of cook? Okay, I'm not. I'm the opposite. Like I'm the person, before I start, I get all my ingredients out and I line them all up, and if I touch chicken, I ain't touching anything else. I gotta go sanitize my hand. Like, you know what I mean? I am that person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it is not gonna get on my clothes. I'm gonna take my time. I'm that type. My workspace is clean. And by the time I'm done, all the dishes are done. When Chad's done, he's like, oh, I'm gonna do the dishes. He'll leave them there for days. You don't even care. Like, how do you not care? But the dishes are he just reorganizes them. How many of you guys are dish reorganizers? Like, you didn't do the dishes. You just kind of made them look neater in the, sink. that's Chad. Like, you know what I mean? And it does look nicer, like, you know, but we're just different. You know what I'm saying? And so when you may do your recipe, so to speak, you might do it differently. But at the end of the day, if Chad and I are following a recipe, same one, our kitchens may look different. Your tracking system may look different. Your social media things might look different. But at the end of the day, if we both follow this recipe, and I mean, really follow the recipe. Don't be Chad and being like, I'm not going to measure that teaspoon, tablespoon, like, you know what I mean? That doesn't count. You know what I mean? Because teaspoon, tablespoon, big difference. You know what I'm saying? So if you really follow it, even though my kitchen's cleaner than Chad's, when we pull it out, it'll taste the same. Okay? It'll taste the same. And so will yours if you follow the recipe, right? But what you can't do, okay, let's just say, anybody here love mac and cheese? No? Like one person? No, like I'm not, okay, if you're doing keto, whatever, okay, but you still love mac and cheese, like a little bit, even though I guess it doesn't fit any of our containers necessarily or something. But I love mac and cheese, okay? And there's Chad's grandmother made a great mac and cheese, okay? Now, if I gave it to you for Thanksgiving and you told everybody, oh my gosh, I have Summer Tucker's mac and cheese recipe, just y'all wait, you know what I mean? I'm gonna make it just like she told me make it. But you, as you were making it, you're like, yeah, gluten doesn't really sit well on my stomach. I think I'm gonna do gluten-free noodles. And you presented it to them and you picked the wrong gluten-free noodles, that crap tastes like crap. Like, do you know what I mean? They'd be like, ew, really? Summer Tucker's recipe sucks. No, it doesn't. You didn't follow the recipe. Do you know what I'm saying? Or let's just say you're like, I'm doing that keto thing. I'm not even gonna put noodles in it. And you just put in the middle of Thanksgiving, cheesy water. And you're like, sorry guys, we're on keto. It's gonna be so good. It's Summer Tucker's recipe. And you're like, Summer Tucker's recipe sucks. No, it doesn't. You just forgot the noodles. And some of y'all do that when you don't invite. Your business is just cheesy water. You know what I mean? You're like, why does this suck? Like, why does my business do not? Because you left out the noodles. Like, you can't do that. The noodles, even when you're on keto on Thanksgiving, you got to put the noodles in the macaroni and cheese. Okay? So we got to follow the same recipe. But let's just say this ever happened to you on Thanksgiving? You're like, crap, I ran out of pans. That ever happened to anybody? Like, well, first of all, I don't even know I catered mine this year because I was like, I don't even know how to get it here hot at the same time. So we're not even going to put you through that stuff, okay? Plus, I make everything paleo, and my parents were like, what is this? Like half cauliflower, half mashed potato crap that you make. So we just put everybody out of their misery and catered it. So I always run out of pans, and I don't time things up, okay? So let's just say you're making it, and you're like, crap, I don't have a pan. I gotta make this because this is supposed to be really good. I wonder what would happen if I just throw it in there. How do you think your mac and cheese would come out? You just like, wham, like threw it all in there. You couldn't even get it out. The pan of our business is like our personal development. If you feel like it's messy, if every time someone says no or a coach quits, you're like, oh, I hate this. What's wrong with them? Or every time your husband doesn't support you, you're like, oh, my husband's not supportive, and you're on the team page, and my husband, like, you know what I mean? Or every time someone gets sick, you're like off for 10 days because you've been disinfecting the house, you know what I mean? Or every time, I don't know, like all of that emotion going on, it's messy. And I know you didn't put it in the pan of personal development. That's how I know. Every time I get those messages from my coaches, that's what I say. Like, my first question, hey, what personal development are you doing? I'm sorry that you're feeling it. They're real emotions. Don't hear me wrong. Like, I hate that you're feeling this way. It does suck when someone's quit. Talk to me a little bit. What personal development are you doing right now? Oh, I don't have time for personal development. I don't like personal development. Girlfriend, you cannot lead crap without personal development. You think it's bad when a client stops. You know what I mean? There are, Carl Deichler said, this business is going to take a lot of forgiveness. That's personal development, right? Okay, so it's messy, okay? It's messy, like that's how you know if all of those thoughts are always through your mind, it's messy, I want to quit, I'm in, I'm out, personal development, okay? And it doesn't mean you suck, it just means you need to get your pan. Like, you know what I mean? If you didn't have enough pans, does that mean you suck as a cook? It's like, no, pick up your phone and call your neighbor. Hey, you got another pan? Easy peasy. You don't suck. I suck at Thanksgiving. Like, I can never do anything. What's wrong with me? No one taught me how to cook Thanksgiving. I hate my life. No. You would be like, oh, crap, I need a pan. I wonder if my neighbor has a pan. Like, right? Like, should be the same thing in this business. Like, oh, crap. Like, I can tell this is what's happening to me. I need my personal development pan. That's it. Right? Okay, how about this? Have any of you guys ever forgot to put something for Thanksgiving in the oven? Just me? See, that's why I cater this crap in. Y'all are good cooks, okay? I do. I'm like, oh my gosh, forgot to put the scalloped potatoes in the oven. Can you imagine if you got your mac and cheese, you made it ahead of time because you had to work out before Thanksgiving. So you were like cooking the night before because you're like, I got this. You know what I mean? So you make it, you put it in the fridge, and then it comes time, and you're like, for everybody to sit down, and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot to put the mac and cheese in the oven. Would you grab the mac and cheese and say, maybe they won't notice? Like, do you put it on the, no, because someone would dig in and be like, what is this? Right? Or how many of you have ever forgot to turn the crock pot on? And you come back at night, and you're like, oh my God. Like, do you know what I mean? That's how I felt in my business initially. I was doing all the things, like, you know what I mean? I put the noodles in, and I had the best cheesy recipe. The cheese in the mac and cheese is like our social media. It keeps everything stuck together. It's how people decide whether they can trust us, if you love them, if you can help them, the way you carry yourself. Are you graffitiing your social media storefront, or are you coming across as someone that's understanding and compassionate yet adding value? Like, you know, that's the cheese that holds the noodles together. Like, I did all of those things initially, right? And no one said yes. I was like, what? Don't you know who I am? I'm a personal trainer. I have this certification and this certification and this certification and this certification. Nobody wanted to join me initially. And I was like, oh. And then one day, I was talking to Chad from 7,000 miles away on his deployment, and I was complaining about my fitness because I was fluffy. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that was the word. I did chubby checks. I had the most unhealthy relationship with myself. You know, like the negative self-talk, all of that stuff, right? And he said, Sommer, you always tell people if you wanted something different, you should do something different. So why don't you do something different? He can only say that to me from 7,000 miles away. Otherwise, I might have slapped him. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't say that stuff to your wife, right? That should be some rule. But I'm glad he did. He takes way too much credit. But I was like, you know what? He's like, Sommer, you took P90X from Mississippi to the state of Washington to New Bern, North Carolina, and it's still in its package. Open it and do it. Like, oh, no, I run marathons. I teach my own boot camps. What does Tony Horton know? Blah, blah. We had this argument. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to prove him wrong. I'm going to show him my body is not going to change at all. I'm going to do this stupid program, Tony, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Guess what happened? Best shape of my freaking life with P90X. He came back from that first deployment, and I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, when do the kids go to bed? You know what I mean? And guess what happened? People were like, hey, what are you doing? I was like, that thing I, messaged you about. Are you serious? Yeah, that's all I do is push play. Can you help me do it? I was like, me? Like, I've been messaging you for months. Why now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I was wearing the results. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I walked differently. I talked about myself differently. Like, do you know what I mean? I didn't even lose that much. You guys have to understand. It wasn't like I don't have like a 50-pound weight loss. Yeah, I don't even know if you could really tell in my clothes, but the way that I carried myself, I no longer took my towel with myself to the edge of the pool, took it off and jumped in, and then got out right where my towel was and wrapped back up. You see what I'm saying? Like, instead, I left the towel at the beach chair or whatever, and I walked. You know what I mean? There's some confidence that happens when you complete something, you know, and everybody want to know what I was doing. I had finally taken the recipe and stuck it in the oven. That's what your own personal journey is. I didn't have a six-pack. I didn't look like Tatiana. Dang it. I'm working on it, Jay. But I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you don't have to. But when you complete something, when you start to make progress, when you start to talk about yourself differently, you know what I mean? When you look people in the eye, when you stop doing chubby checks, when you stop crying in the closet, when you like how you feel in clothes, everybody notices and they want whatever you have. And that's the oven, right? So usually when my coaches are struggling, I ask them about this recipe, right? I ask them about this recipe. And I have 5 minutes left, Tina. I haven't answered one damn question that you asked me to answer. So I'm going to do that in 5 minutes, okay? So that brings me to, Sommer, how did you budget your time? You guys ask. I imagine, Jatina, you're asking when I first started, probably, right? So you don't want to know how I budget my time now, I wouldn't think. Am I right?
I think we have a mixture of first starting to diamond level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I first started, I had a 10-month-old, I had a 4-year-old, and my husband was deployed. We lived in a fixer-upper in the middle of nowhere, no family, no friends, because we moved there 4 months later. He deployed. And so everything was on top of me, which is fine. I signed up for it. I get it. You know, it was hard. You know, you really don't know what you're signing up for. But I was managing all of that. And so everybody said you have to do personal development. I was like, hate to read, hate reading. And Tommy Migrant was like, well, listen to it on YouTube. I was like, why didn't I think of that? And he's like, every morning listen to one YouTube motivational video. And I was like, I can do that, right? So I started waking. It became important to me, okay, because we were $100,000 in debt. So, and I felt that when I took over the finances and he was deployed, I was like, what? Like, we don't have enough money. Like, right? So it became important to me. No one was like, hey, did you get up today? It became important to me. I got up, right away on my phone as I brushed my teeth, I turned on, I went to YouTube and did what Tommy told me to do. So when I brushed my teeth and made coffee, I listened to that. Once the coffee was ready, I stopped listening. I sat down with my note card and my legal pad, right? Like everybody's like, I need this tracking system. You don't got anybody to track, girlfriend. So it's like Griffin me like, well, who's my agent going to be when I get to the NFL? Well, you're not in the NFL, so don't worry about who your agent is going to be right now. Worry about showing up for practice. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how, so I had a card, I had a legal pad with a bunch of names on it because Janelle Sommer said, write everybody's name down and don't prejudge. Okay. So I did all of that. Okay. And then I sat down with this and I had 30 minutes before I had to start my workout. Okay. So I found 2 new people. So I went to something that I could add value, like Military Wives or something like that, okay? And I would see how I could add value. Like maybe I could found an article or something, or someone was struggling, their kid was struggling. It happens a lot to military families, and I would just encourage, you know what I mean? Or I would share something that was working for me. And so I'd go in there and see who commented on something, or if they responded to something I said, and I just wrote their name down. I didn't friend them yet. I wrote their name down and wrote where they were at so I could pay attention to them. I knew who they were, right? And that's not just 2 people in there. And then as the kids play sports, I was in a football group for, my son played football and then he played soccer and, we had all kinds of things. You know what I'm saying? I'm in so many Labrador groups. Everybody's labs are so cute and I have 2 labs. So I go in there and I share things that my labs are doing or whatever. Okay, so I'd write 2 names down, then I would connect with 2 people. I'd look at my list and I'd be like, okay, who can I literally be a light for right now? This wasn't about me. It wasn't like, okay, who can I like so that maybe they buy from me next month? No, I look, okay, who can I go add value to today? Go love on them. Tell them their lipstick looks so good, or wow, I love that you went out on a date, or how fun that you got out with your son, you're awesome. There was something, 2 people, right? Then I would invite 2 people, or I'd look at my list. Usually on Sunday nights, I would highlight 10 people's names that I felt that understood that, my heart was in the right place, through connecting. Then I invite them. I didn't overthink it. I wasn't like, what if they say no? What if they ask me what challenge groups are? And I don't know. What if they do that? What if, no. I can't control what they say back. Do you know what I mean? All I control right now in this moment is whether I invite them or not. So I'd say hey, girlfriend, I know that I know that you've been struggling with this, and I've been so nervous to invite you. But I really is on my heart. Like, have you ever considered letting me walk next to you the same way someone walked next to me? That's it. And I wasn't like, why haven't they responded yet? Oh my gosh, they hate me. They're probably talking about me to everybody else. Nope, just sent 2 of them, done. Went on, well, after my invites, for me, those were the most important things in my business. I was done, okay? And I went and worked out. There was an hour back then. We're down to 20 minutes, you guys, with our workout. So I feel like we have more time these days. But it took me 30 minutes, and we can do it quicker now, but I worked out. My kids got up at 7, right? And then I would do breakfast, and I'd eat with them, and I'd take them on walks, and I'd go to play dates, and we'd come back and we'd have lunch, and I sat with them, and then I would put them down for quiet time, and then I'd make my shake, stupid shake, because Chad talked me into that damn thing, and I was like, I'm not drinking that stupid shake. I like to chew my food. And he was like, just drink the shake. I was like, I'm going to prove you wrong on all this crap. You're going to have to pay me back all of this money because it's not in the budget. These were the things going through my mind. And 3 days in, I was like, I really kind of love this little shake here thingy that I'm drinking. And I would sit down with it, and I would check into my challenge groups and try to add value. I would check into my team page. I didn't have an upline. So I tried to add value and see if my mother-in-law hit it, because she was the only one that did. And then I would do follow-ups, a couple follow-ups. And then I had to do the dishes, and I had to get dinner ready. I had to clean the house. I had to start a load of laundry. I had to do all of those things, right? And then the kids woke up, and we had to run errands, and we had soccer practice, and we had baby Melody time for Riley. Like, do you know what I'm saying? I went about my life. And at night, after I put him to bed, I'd do 30 minutes. I'd find a YouTube video, because we have organized training, Janelle Sommers, or I bought Social Media 101 or boot camp from Shalene. And I did that for 30 minutes. And then I checked some urgent messages that someone was like, well, what is this challenge group thing? I would say like, oh crap, let me figure out how Janelle said that. And I would find a YouTube video and see how Janelle said it. Like, oh, okay, great, that makes sense. That's a good way to explain what a challenge group is. But the more I did that, the better I got at it. I didn't have to watch Janelle's. I knew, I studied it, you know what I mean? And then I went to bed, got a bath, did my social media every time I took a bath. I came up with my next post, went to bed by 10, back up by 5, and did it all over again. And I freaking loved it. Look forward to it every freaking day. I loved waking up and feeling accomplished and being like, high five self. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and sewing into people and all those kind of, I did that every freaking day until my husband came home from deployment. And I think I made a total over 7 months time of about $300. Right? Because I wasn't like I hadn't fully gotten any results. I hadn't put it in the oven, right? But I loved it. And my husband was like, you are a different person. You are lit up. I don't care how much money you make, but it's the compound effect. And it started to take hold. And little by little, it grew to the point where my husband will look back and he'll be like, why did you keep building that business? You weren't making any money initially. The compound effect. I sharpened my axe. I kept getting better. I kept doing it. I stopped worrying about how fast someone else was getting somewhere. And I just kept controlling what I could control and learning from people like Janelle, or Melissa McAllister, or Tracy Morrow, or Doug Fitzgerald, probably names that some of them you probably still recognize. So that was how I ran this business initially, right? And then I started hiring things out. So I've never really worked more than 20 hours a week. But there's just different styles. When Chad was deployed the second time, I worked more because I was sad all the time. And Chad and I were going through something. And I did that instead of, eat. It was better, but it wasn't healthy for me. But like I've always started to hire things out, right? It's kind of like when you have a plot of land that a farmer is plowing, and he can do it with a hoe initially, you know what I mean? And the plot of land starts to grow, and then he goes and buys a combine, but he still has to plow the land, plant the seed, protect it, right, from the deer and the bugs and all that kind of stuff, and harvest it. right? He just he gets these tools that can help them, but you don't start out that way. Does that make sense? Am I helping Jatana with that question? I did it every day through every move. I loved it though. I loved it. I loved it. I don't know how else to, say that. When people say like they've lost their joy, I don't really get it, other than it's messy because you forgot to your personal development. You know what I mean? You're comparing yourself and stuff like that. So I think I only got through one question, Jatana. I can answer this question in 2 seconds. Best advice when you slip into self-doubt: take action. When you're doubting yourself, you have to take action, right? It's like your kid falls off the bike. Don't let him like never get on the bike again. You know what I'm saying? Like he has to get back on the bike even though he fell. Like my daughter loves to jump on the trampoline, and she landed wrong and it scared her today. And I said, you're going to get back on that trampoline tomorrow, right? Yes. Because you can't allow that self-doubt to creep in, right? And the only thing that changes the narrative in your head over time is action, right? Not affirmation. Don't hear, like, I'm not hating on affirmations, but if you don't say to yourself, like, I'm a great Beachbody coach. If you just say, I'm a great Beachbody coach, I'm a great Beachbody coach, I'm a great and you don't have you have to have evidence to back it up, literally, for your brain. Like, so I'm a great Beachbody coach because I show up, I love people, I am hungry to learn. And when Jatana suggests something, I try to do it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that is not toxic for your brain. That's good, right? So when doubt starts to creep in, I remove the emotion, take action, and then celebrate the action. You have to acknowledge every piece of the action. I don't care how many invites somebody else did. What was your goal? 2, and you did them. You need to celebrate it, not say, well, I only did 2 and I know other people do 10. No, I did 2 today. High five. That is the only way to rewrite the narrative in your brain, right? When you have self-doubt. So I know I'm totally over, Jatana, and I could talk forever, but it is 10 o'clock.
You're good. I think
I could talk forever.
I can listen to you forever. Believe me. I love it. So fired up. My brain's going like in a million directions. Like, oh my gosh, I need to get my act together as a leader. But I know one of the major questions that I think that have been tossed around a lot within the team, and maybe you can give a 5-minute or 3 minutes your thoughts on it, is the whole debacle of rank and volume.
Yeah.
And I know this is going to be over the head of some of the coaches on here. They're like, I just signed up. I don't even know what the word volume means. But I know there are a lot of leaders on this call that were like waiting to hear your thoughts. And I think I know where you're going to go with it, but.
Yeah. Okay. So all of it matters on some level. Okay. So this is the best way I can explain it. I think we give rank too much weight, but then people swing the other way and completely ignore it like it doesn't matter. And that's not the case either. Like, do you know what I mean? So my husband was a pilot in the Marine Corps. And I think looking at rank is like just looking at how fast the plane is going. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're looking at just the speed indicator and you're like, I'm going fast. But you're not looking at, but I'm going fast towards the damn ground. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know, I don't know where he's sitting, but I'm going to get all these instruments wrong, like the altimeter and the something indicator or whatever. But he has like multiple instruments that he's looking at to make sure that he's flying towards his mission. So when it comes to anything, whether it's your marriage, your finances, this business, your health, you have to identify where you want to go. Right? Like, Chad never took off and was just like, I don't know, just gonna fly today. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he knew where he was going, right? He knew what his mission was. So you have to know what that is. And then you have to make sure you've identified your instruments and you're looking at all of them, not from a place of fear, not from a place of ego, but like from a place of self-love, like love. Like, do you know what I mean? Like Chad wasn't looking at them being like, oh, I suck. There I go, being too low again. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have to think of, these are our instruments. So like for me, I teach my team, like you need to have your eyes on rank. Like if we're never adding coaches on a really serious level, we're not reaching as many people as we could reach, okay? Because hear me out on this. There's only so many hours in a day that people that even if I was really good at this business, okay? Like if I was really good at that side of recruiting, marketing and all of that, which is not the best thing. That's not my strong suit. I really have to work hard at that. But even if I was really good, and let's just say, which this would have been really good for me, I hit Success Club 20. Jadina's probably like, I do that in my sleep. And I know because that's her strong suit. You know what I mean? Like, so I have to work on this really hard. So let's just say I did that. And that's all I focused on. And to me, I was like, yeah, like, maybe I got up to 50, right? But I wasn't ever adding anyone. And so like, I wasn't teaching them how to do it, right? So if I was like, okay, I'm reaching 10 new people a month, but then I got this army of 20 people and they're all reaching 2. So that's 40 people, right? And then I'm helping my 10. Now I'm helping 50 people as a team together. That's the long game. You know what I mean? Like how many people can my team reach and help and serve and free from these prisons that I believe that our people are living in, that's keeping them from being their best self for their family and their spouse and, you know what I mean, their purpose here while on earth, right? And so if we're never adding people, I believe we're doing people a disservice. We're doing our team a disservice, right? So we have to, but you don't have to be adding 50. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not this all or nothing thing. So we have to have our eyes on how many coaches we're adding. We have to have our eyes on, okay, like what's your volume? Like what's your PV? Because I don't care just about like Success Club's one of them, but I want to know what your retention rate is. Like that's a question I ask. Like I have some coaches that, you know, they hit Success Club 5 sometimes it's 4, sometimes 8, sometimes it's lower, but their PV is like 3,000 every single month. That's awesome. You know what I mean? So we're looking at all of those things, but then they're not adding any coaches. And so we have to dig in, well, why is that? Where does that fear come from? Do you see what I'm saying? So we have eyes on all of these things, right? So that we can make sure we're moving towards our mission, right? And so I see a lot of people say, volume's king. And I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, it's important. Like, it's probably, like if I had to rank some things, it's more important to me than rank. But you can't say that because like if you're not adding coaches, your volume can't go up. Like, do you know what I mean? So they all work together. It's kind of like if Chad's on the runway and he just tries to go as fast as he can, but he never pulls back and takes off. He just run off the runway. So do you know what I'm saying? So you have to have your eyes on different things. And so like if we're doing these chopping at the tree things and we're helping people advance in their fitness and then we're asking people to link arms with us, like I always tell my team, go out and build an army of people that love other people enough to put their own fear aside and extend a hand. Like say, hey, like I see you. Let me get you surrounded the same way I was surrounded. I want an army of people. Like go do that. You know what I'm saying? And if we do these things every single day, those things like our Success Club will go up, our volume will go up, you know what I mean? Our, rank will go up, those kind of things. But to me, like it's an ebb and flow type of thing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I'm going to give you all a spoiler. Not everybody that was a 15 star is still a 15 star. Do you know what I mean? But does that mean they're not a good leader? No. Does that mean that their income went down? No. You know what I'm saying? And does it mean that they won't get it back? No. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like this ebb and flow. You know what I mean? And so you can't, when you drop rank, be like, oh, no. You know what I mean? It'd be like Chad, like, noticing that his wings are tilted and be like, you know what? Frick that. Eject. Like, could you ever see a pilot being like, oh, eject, I quit? Like, you know what I mean? Just because he was dipped, his wing was tilted and he would look at it and be like, at his instruments and say, oh, I just need to correct a little bit. That's all it takes. And we're eyes on this, not from a self-judgment, from a very, like, not emotion, like, well, here's where my volume's at, and here's my success club, and where do I need to tweak, and what do I need to do, and am I moving in this direction? And once we look at that, then I ask people, like, well, how many coaches? I look at work ethic things. How many did you invite this month? How's your funnel look? From a very, like, not like judgmental thing, but from a very, like, what do we need to tweak type of thing. Does that make sense? Does that help, Jatana? Like, is that what you thought I would say?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's what I've always heard you say in trainings and in calls in the past is it is a balance between the two. And just like your analogy said, it takes an army of people to have volume.
Yeah.
It takes an army of people to have rank.
Mm-hmm.
It takes an army of people to create wealth in this business.
Yeah.
And so you've got to go out and just like Epic Empire, here you guys are a part of this army of people, and it takes all of that. Couldn't be elite. I couldn't hit 6 figures. I couldn't be all these different things if it wasn't for the army. And so that's what you have to do is you have to go out and find your people and find your tribe and grow and teach and have them go find their tribe and grow and teach. And that's the compound effect. And that's how it grows into something.
That's just how it works. And Jatina and I just get to represent that army. Like, I love when they switched it to on the, like, they didn't always do this where they'd put your name on the elite thing. Like, I love your team name, you know what I mean? Or they say you're an elite team. It wasn't always like that until a bunch of us were like, hey, so like, we didn't do that. No one succeeds by themselves. So can we start recognizing our teams? Like, you know what I mean? Like, not Sommer Tucker, Team Courage did this. When I walk up on stage, it is like, I'm just the representative of it. You know what I mean? And I learned from Darren Hardy. Do you remember when Darren Hardy, or were you not quite there yet? Do you remember when he taught, or I can't?
Yeah, I was there.
Okay. So I want you guys to think about, like, he said, like, here's you. Okay. And say you sign up this person that was in your challenge group, and you're like, oh, they're cool. Or, you know, hey, you want a discount? Because that's what most of us spit out when we're first coach, right? Like, hey, you could totally get a discount. Boom. Like, you know what I mean? On a scale of 1 to 10 on, like, business builder, they're like a 1. Like, do you know what I mean? They're like, not really, right? But, you know, then their cousin finds out about it and they join, and they are like, wait, so there's a business thing, and they sign up this cousin right here. Here's you. Here's this cousin. And she's like a 6. And she's like, I want to build this thing. Darren said, go down here. And this person, like, matters, and not just with the reaching more people, but with your volume, which matters to your paycheck, right? Whereas this person right here impacts your rank, but doesn't want to do anything. So you don't just keep harping on this person because, oh, it's my rank, and doesn't she know? But then this person's diamond and this person's nothing. And I hear people be like, oh, if only this person would quit. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, like, this person led to this person. And Darren Hardy taught me that. He said, and that 6 might lead to a 10. And that happened on my leg with Megan E. Walton. You know what I mean? Like, if any of you guys know who she is, you know what I mean? Like, she was a top 10 coach. She's amazing. You know what I mean? A great recruiter, a go-getter, an army wife. Like, and there's Rebecca. There's 3 coaches between us. But when she was frustrated at Summit and she needed me, let's talk, Megan. Like, do you know what I mean? Because she's a builder. No, she doesn't impact my elite necessarily. She doesn't impact my rank, but she impacts my volume. And so you have to be aware of all of these things, but we can't get so locked up on these top tiers. And that's what's so awesome about our business plan is, like, I can locate, like, a go-getter. Instead of harping on these people, I can allow them to identify winning for themselves. Maybe they don't have any desire to build like this, but it led to this person. And, like, that's Kristen Sharp, who's an 11-star diamond in my downline. Like, there's someone in between us that didn't really want to do it. I talk to Kristen Sharp every day, and I have for the last 8 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I'll never forget Darren Hardy teaching that. And then Danny Johnson saying, Sommer, you have to understand, big business is made up of a lot of people doing a little, and you'll have some that want to do a lot. Be patient. It'll take them a while to want to be a lot. Let them develop. You know what I mean? And that's all I've done for 10 years is allow people. I'm not pushing. You know what I mean? I am loving. Like, I'm asking, what's your goal? Okay, let me help you. Like, this is what you have to do. Is that still important to you? Okay, awesome. This is what you have to do. High five. Let's go. And then if they come back to me and they don't want to, like, I'm like, are you sure? Because I don't want you to regret that. And if they're like, I just can't right now, Sommer, my marriage is falling apart, all of this is fine. Okay, take a deep breath. It's okay. I'm not going anywhere. Do you see what I'm saying? It's that type of relationship with my downline. You know what I mean? But this person that stepped out, she's got to go get her right here. I talk to her every day. Like, you know, she's in my second business center, doesn't impact my rank. Girlfriend is a go-getter. We talk all the time. It's not like, well, you're not my PS coach. Oh,
100%.
you know what I mean?
I agree 100%. And I think that's a piece when we're talking about, at least with the diamonds that are on this call, when we're talking about volume versus rank, there might be somebody, like she just said, that will never affect your rank or your elite or anything like that. But they are somebody who is going to create their own team that you have to pour into, that you have to love on, that you have to teach and give your time to, because their volume will impact your income. So that's kind of
I'm more likely to spend time with that person than trying to drag one of my PS coaches, right? And so I don't work all day. I'm not in the like Megan's, or well, me and Megan don't talk so much. She's good to go. But like Kristen's not, I'm not like on the phone in the grocery store trying to manage everything. But when I am working, if she needs a call, I find a spot on my calendar, even though she doesn't impact my rank. Like, does that make sense? And I think when you think like a business owner, right? You're really, at the end of the day, last time I checked, I couldn't go to the bank when I want to buy a house and go, oh, I know my income's not where it should be, but I'm a 15 star. Can we take that for collateral for this house I want to build? Like, do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's a business. It has to, it's the income side of things. Like, you have to be aware of those kind of things. So like, I don't freak out over rank. I get it. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. It's going to do all of this stuff, and I'm not going anywhere. You know what I mean? And I'm looking at my income, who impacts my income, you know, all of that type of stuff. What can I control? What can't I control? I'm not super emotionally attached to it. Yeah. That makes sense?
100%. And I think that wavers between the 2 and the 15 star. I don't think you would ever try to dip below that. I mean, I think a benchmark for yourself where you're like, no, I'm maintaining this level and I will not allow it to go for myself, allow it to go below there.
Well, I think you get to a point too where you have like okay, well, I max out here. So I went, but that didn't happen for a long time. Like, I have coaches that have gotten to 2-star, which is important to me. You get to open a second business center. I think that's like a good goal to have, and important if you want to be a builder. You know, you want like a substantial income. Like, I think that's important. But once they get it open, if for a second they dip down to diamond because we're not doing a freak out. You know, we're because I know, because of the compound effect, we're going to keep doing our part, and it'll go back up. You know what I mean? And it's just this ebb and flow type of, or it keeps going up. You know what I'm saying? Income does the same thing. There was one last question. I can give one word. What would you do differently when you started? Nothing, because everything has made me who I am in this business, and I've messed up. You know what I mean? And I've done things that I was like, oh, that was so dumb, but I learned, and then I could teach other people like how to do it. Like, do you know what I mean? So there wasn't anything that I would really do differently. I'm really, really love the way that I built it, where, it wasn't like high stress all the time for me, but I don't thrive under high stress. Whereas like Megan loves that. Like, do you know what I mean? So you just have to be like willing to say, well, this is where I thrive. Like Jatana loves competition. Cup makes me like, do I really have to work with other people like that consistently? Because I get my stuff done and I don't need to talk about it. Like, you don't need to check on me. Like, do we really have to compare notes on this? Because I'm just like, even in school, like when it was like time to be teamwork, I was like, do we have to? Like, could I do my own project by myself over here? So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you have to allow people to, like Jatana, like that's who she is. That's how God made her. She thrives in that environment. Like, do you know what I mean? And everybody's different. And that is okay. But what has to remain the same is, if you want to build, you have to do the things that build a business, or it's not going to grow. I mean, that's just a fact. No matter how much you dance, it just won't. You know what I mean? Like, you get to do your style. You get to define winning. And then, you know, you get to be like, someone said to me the other day, like they were talking to me. They're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm talking to a rock star. I'm like, I'm really not that cool. Like, I'm really not. Jatina's way cooler than I am. If you want to have a good time, like, you know what I mean? But if you want to have some deep thoughts with me and like sleep in and stuff and just chill in your pajamas, I might think it's kind of boring to some people. I see Jatina out on the beach. I'm like, that I don't even know if I really like the sand between my toes all that much. But if we can sit by the pool, like, you know what I mean? Like, but I'm really not that fun, but I was really disciplined. You know, I just can sit down and do my stuff and say high five self and walk away. And that's how I became a college athlete. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't worry about what this person was doing and who got offers at Ohio State. Like, I just kept doing my stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? And if you can do that, I'm telling you what, this business will be bigger than a paycheck. The relationships it'll put in your life and the way that it'll change you and your marriage and your finances and the peace it can bring to your life, it's life-changing. I promise you that. I wouldn't still be here. You know what I mean? I wouldn't still be I don't have to keep doing it, really. You know what I mean? So anyway, you guys have listened to me for an hour and 26 minutes. You guys, Anna, you really, next time, if you ask me to talk, you should start me earlier.
No, you refueled us. It's like our little revival. We're ready for 2020 now. We're super pumped. Thank you so much, Summer. No, she does not do night calls. I have asked her time and time again. She's like, I don't do night calls. I don't do night calls. I'm like, it's my birthday. We do night calls.
Yeah, Jatina's the only coach that I've done a night call for a very long. The last person was Janelle Summers when she asked me. So that's how special Jatina and her team is to me. Like, I believe in you guys. Like, and if you see me at Summit, like, stop me. Like, I'm not that cool. Like, do you know what I mean? You know, I'll probably be hiding behind a hat and walking really fast because I get really uncomfortable in crowds, but be like, I know that messy hair under that, girlfriend. It's probably greasy. Like, stop and talk to me. Like, you know, like, I love the connection part of it. I really do. And Jatina, if you see me, you better freaking take a picture with me.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much, Summer. Love you, girl. Go get some rest. Go hug on your babies and hug me.
Yep. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Good night.